We're always told that AI is going to make us smarter, right? But what if it's actually doing the exact opposite? Today, we're diving into something called cognitive offloading, which is really just a fancy term for how we use tools to help us think. And we're going to ask a really critical question. Is AI a superpower for our brain, or is it just a shortcut to, well, thinking less? So, here's the game plan for today. We'll kick things off by looking at our offloading brain and how we've been doing this for, well, forever. Then, we'll jump right into the big debate. Is AI like a dangerous escalator that helps us skip the hard work of learning? Or is it more like a powerful second brain? We'll sort that out with a great metaphor about a forklift in the gym, and wrap up with a practical toolkit for, you guessed it, thinking about your own thinking. All right, first things first, let's get one thing straight. Using tools to help us think isn't some newfangled techie thing. Nope, this is a strategy that's literally as old as civilization itself. So what exactly is cognitive offloading? It's actually a really simple idea. It's just the process of moving mental work from inside your head to an outside tool. You know, when you write down an appointment in your calendar, you're not outsourcing your memory because you're lazy. You're strategically freeing up your brain power for more important things, like being creative or solving a really tough problem. And we've been doing this for thousands of years. The ancient Sumerians offloaded their memory onto clay tablets. We offloaded complicated math to calculators, and then we offloaded the task of finding facts to Google. But AI, wow, AI represents a massive shift. We're no longer just offloading facts or calculations. We can now outsource the very process of thinking itself. And that, my friends, changes the entire game. And this is where things get complicated. It brings us to the core conflict of this whole thing, and it's framed perfectly by the educator Dr. Simon Breakspear. He's raising a huge red flag about what AI means for anyone who's still trying to learn. Dr. Breakspear's big idea is this: memory is the residue of thinking. Just let that sink in for a second. What he's saying is you can't build real long-term knowledge without actually doing the hard mental work. True learning isn't just about passively absorbing information. It's the result of actively struggling with it. Okay, so here's the crucial difference. A calculator offloaded the calculation, which freed you up to think about what the numbers actually mean. But modern AI, it can offload the actual thinking, coming up with ideas, structuring an argument, summarizing a complex text. For a student, doing those things is the learning. Outsourcing them is like trying to get fit by watching someone else go to the gym for you. And this brings us to Breakspear's absolutely brilliant metaphor. Think of the stairs as the hard mental work of learning, and the escalator? That's AI. It's fast, it's easy, it's effortless. Now be honest, when an assignment is due tomorrow, why would any student choose to take the stairs when the escalator is sitting right there, even if we know the stairs are the only way to actually build that cognitive muscle? And look, this isn't just some abstract theory. There's real evidence. An MIT study found that people who consistently used ChatGPT showed lower brain engagement. A study in The Lancet found that doctors who relied on diagnostic AI actually became less skilled over time. It's the whole lane assist problem in cars, you know? If the car is always keeping you perfectly centered in the lane, you never really learn how to steer for yourself. Okay, but hold on. That's a pretty bleak picture, right? So let's flip the coin over. What if AI isn't a crutch at all, but a strategic tool that can actually augment our intelligence? Let's make the case for AI as your powerful second brain. You've probably heard of this famous number from the psychologist George Miller, 7 plus or minus 2. That's it. That's the maximum number of items an average person can hold in their working memory at any given time. Our brains have a built-in biological speed limit. We are fundamentally wired to need external tools to help us handle complexity. And think about this, trying to juggle way too much in our heads, multitasking, it absolutely hammers our productivity by up to 40%. But, and this is the amazing part, when we strategically offload the right kind of information, our ability to do complex reasoning can actually improve by 20%. The takeaway here is that smart offloading isn't just a convenience, it can literally make us better thinkers. So what does this strategic offloading actually look like in practice? Well, think of it this way. You let AI handle the what, so you can focus on the why and the how. We offload the raw materials, all the data, the first messy drafts, the routine stuff, and that frees us up to internalize the things that are uniquely human, the core principles, the critical thinking, ethical judgment, and our own personal insights. All right, so we have these two really powerful arguments, don't we? One is warning us about cognitive decline, and the other is promising us augmented intelligence. So how do we square this circle? Well, it all comes down to understanding the purpose of what you're trying to do. Which brings us right back to the central question. Is AI a tool or is it a crutch? And the answer, which you probably saw coming, is yes. It's both. It completely, 100% depends on the context. Dr. Breakspeare's metaphor just makes this distinction crystal clear. A forklift is an amazing tool for lifting heavy things, but you would never, ever bring one into a gym. And why not? Because in the gym, the goal isn't just to lift the weight. The goal is to get stronger by struggling with the weight. And there it is. That's the whole ball game. For a student, someone who is in a developmental phase, whose entire goal is to build their cognitive muscle, using AI to do the work is like using a forklift in the gym. It completely defeats the purpose. But for a professional who's already built that muscle, whose goal is pure productivity, well, that same forklift is an incredible tool that multiplies their capability. See? It's not the tool, it's the job. Okay, so knowing this crucial distinction, how can we use AI mindfully? It all boils down to metacognition, which is just the vital skill of thinking about our own thinking. Here's a simple 3-step action plan for you. First, audit your load. Take a second to consciously decide which mental tasks are draining you and which ones you should delegate to AI to free up that brain power. Second, practice detachment. Use AI to help you understand something, but then step away from the computer and try to explain the concept on your own. And third, use the Feynman technique. Try to teach the idea to someone else in simple terms. If you can't explain it simply, you haven't really learned it yet. And this brings up a really critical question. An AI can probably produce incredibly polished writing, sure. But is it better than you at the messy, frustrating process of figuring out what you actually think? That struggle of finding just the right words, that isn't just about the final product. It's the very process you use to clarify your own ideas to yourself. So we'll end on this thought. AI is an absolutely unparalleled tool for finding answers that already exist out there in the world. But deep, meaningful learning, that's all about the journey of discovering what you think. And that is a journey no machine can ever take for you.